Hello everybody, and welcome to City Cable's special program, Wings Over the Preserve. We've got some beautiful video here for you today, and taking you into Scottsdale's crown jewel, the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. And we're going to also tell you about some of the happenings that are going on here during this coming hiking season. So stay with us. And joining us today now is Eric Filsinger, who is an experienced veteran climber of the McDowell Mountains, and also he's a Scottsdale Planning Commission commissioner. So, Eric, welcome.
Well, good to be here. Sure appreciate it.
We have Liz Hildenbrand, who is a Scottsdale Parks and Rec manager. And Liz?
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And then we have Mike Nolan, who is the director of the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy. And I stumble around all these words. It's a mouthful, but and I'm your host today, Marshall Trimble, state historian. So let's kind of kick this off with Eric. You're the veteran climber out there, and what's it like up there? You climbed Tom's Thumb, and you not only climbed it, you rappelled it. So
yeah, Marshall, it's a beautiful spot. It sits, as you know, up on top of a ridge. So when you're up there, you look out over the whole city, basically. Almost like being in an airplane, a low-flying airplane, but you're pretty high, and you look down on, through the years, as a historian, it's kind of interesting to reflect on what you see from up there, because I've first was up there probably about 1978, headed towards the McDowells. I was a young assistant professor at Arizona State University, got my car stuck in the sand the first trip, and then I finally figured out you weren't driving through all these washes quite the way you should, and found out how to get up to Tom's Thumb and climbed it. And boy, over the years, I've seen sitting on the top, which is probably an area maybe 50 feet by 100 feet. It's a big flat area up on top, so you can kind of take your ropes off and look around, and you've seen City of Scottsdale grow. And every new subdivision that comes in, you look down on it through its stages of construction, and you kind of have seen Scottsdale grow from being a sleepy little town to being a big full city with an employment base and the airport and 101 running through it, and all that from just sitting up on the top of the Tom's Thumb, seeing the city grow and seeing the make a decision on its own to preserve this wonderful land and these wonderful climbing areas that are up there. So I've had the pleasure of being up there for quite a few years, watching things take place, and I'm very, very pleased to have been part of the process in Scottsdale.
As you were talking, Eric, I was thinking and visualizing you sitting up there, or having, from the first time you were there, having a camera and time it and run it fast, speed through the years and go through years and years in seconds, just to show the changes out there.
Yeah, it'd be a marvelous time lapse. And as these different areas of the city developed, sure, some of those people didn't like the next person coming in, but all in all, we've gone through and I think reached a good consensus and a balance.
Not in my backyard, we call them.
Yeah, not in my backyard. But it's been beautiful sitting up there. It's a marvelous place. There's great rock climbing in the preserve, and very thankful to the city and the citizens for having the vision to purchase this land and set it aside and allow rock climbing there, speaking for my cohort of people, if you will. The climb on those rocks, is something where you need your technical equipment. You can't just hike up to the top. You got to have your ropes and protection. When you rappel off, you have to actually know how to use ropes to get back off the summit. But it's a great place, and beautiful views, all sorts of seasons.
That kind of segues us right into Liz on the trail. I understand there's having a trail opening up to Tom's Thumb now.
Right. Well, Tom's Thumb Trailhead, which is our newest trailhead to the McDowell Sonoran Preserve, actually allows for access to a couple of different trails. Of course, the Tom Thumb Trail, which has been there in some sort of a sense for several years, but it has been reconfigured along with the new trailhead parking, and that new trailhead facility parks about 200 cars and about 10 horse trailers, because there's other trails besides just the trail actually up to Tom's Thumb, and of course the connection across to the south end of the McDowells. This is kind of the north end of the McDowell Mountains proper. And so there's a brand new wonderful trail called the Marcus Landslide Trail, and that's a little bit of the flatter country, not up on the peak itself, but actually on a landslide area. And one thing we're really excited about, and I'm sure Mike will tell a little more about it, is just wonderful interpretive signs interpreting the geology and the geology events that created the landslide. And it's a wonderful experience. We have the connection to the county park, which is something we've been trying to reach, and so that's now in place with the new trailhead, and so we're really, really excited and pleased to be offering that this hiking season. And of course we are always thinking there's more to explore, and we certainly have plans for future acquisitions to the north of Dynamite, north of Tom Thumb, and right now Brown's Ranch is under construction. That trailhead is being built. It's closed for this season, but looking forward to it next season. And some other little less improved trailheads accessing that same area. So there'll be lots to do as we're getting more and more land, and looking forward to November and a potential auction and 6,400 more acres coming into the auspice of the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. So we're really excited about it. So happy to be here to share it.
It is, and it is our crown jewel. I really believe that.
Absolutely.
Well, Mike, with the Conservancy, tell us a little about this, and what, for folks who don't know what the McDowell Sonoran Conservancy is, and
Sure.
what all do you do?
Well, we're the nonprofit organization that works with the city to help protect and preserve the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. You know, we like to say that we champion the sustainability of the preserve. We want to be sure that it's there for not just this generation, but all future generations in the same kind of natural way that it is now. We do a lot of different things, but first and foremost is we field about 400 volunteers. These are citizens from Scottsdale and surrounding cities who come in and give their time and their talent to work along with the city to protect the preserve. So it's really kind of a unique public-private partnership that we have here. Last year our stewards gave more than 30,000 hours in the preserve working on it. So that's, 15 full-time equivalents, as it were. A really good crowd. And so, as I say, we work with the city to basically patrol, work on trails as needed, greet visitors at the different trailheads, conduct scientific research, lead hikes and other educational activities, just a whole host of things.
And you can always use volunteers.
Absolutely, we could always use volunteers.
Put out the call here.
As the city acquires 10 more acres, 10 more square miles, not 10 more acres this year, it's a pace that has been really a challenge for us to keep up with. We need plenty of volunteers, and anyone who's interested, we'd love for them to go to our website, learn more about it, and sign up to join us.
Good. I would think anybody. To volunteer, sometimes you volunteer and you're in a kitchen or you're in the, something like that, but to get to be out there, that would be the life for a volunteer.
Pretty
so I
good
really
duty.
encourage those of you who are watching out there, when you are thinking about volunteering for something, you want a lot of fresh air and the most beautiful place in the world to look at, our Sonoran Desert. I can't think of a better thing to volunteer for.
Exactly. So, and we have a lot of activities going on through the fall that I would encourage people to think about joining us too. We lead about 85 free hikes per year, so we've got about 30 still to go between now and the end of the year. We have a series of holiday hikes that are designed if you have guests in town that you can bring out and give them a sampling of what the Sonoran Desert is all about without being too strenuous of a hike. We have some events, family events, every first Friday of the month in the Gateway. We do a family event about 4:30 in the afternoon. In November, we're going to have a photography workshop if there are folks interested in outdoor photography. We're having a celebration on November 10th for folks who like to hike with their dogs at the Gateway. So a whole host of things. Again, if you go to our website, which is McDowellSonoran.org, at any time you can catch up on what's going on and what's coming in the future, and find out ways that you can connect with us, whether it's as a steward or a participant on a hike or whatever you choose to do.
Well, I think, you know, we are really the first generation that's been given the responsibility to preserve.
Right.
Before us, it's not been it's not really been an issue, I guess. And we inherited this, and we are the first, and that's why we all should be very proud of what Scottsdale has done, and been a real leader in preservation. And Eric?
And I might add to that, the preservation doesn't sit there. It actually adds to the health of Scottsdale, the economic vitality, if you will. Personally, just for the small segment of the world that involves rock climbing, I've had people come internationally to climb in those mountains with me. They had a guy who was involved with the filming. I won't identify his particular role, but was Saving Private Ryan, for example, came over from England to climb there. Had an orthopedic surgeon from one of the East Coast football teams come and climb there. 4 venture capitalists from Boston had a conference out here, wanted to come and climb. So their tourism, they're the folks that come on some of these hikes, as well as local people, but people from around the world are getting to know about this marvelous thing that the City of Scottsdale's created.
Well, now that you've heard us talk about the McDowell Sonoran Preserve, let's take a look at these videos now and give you a bird's eye view of what the camera saw flying over this beautiful place. And I want to remind you, this is these are going to be on YouTube, so you can catch them there.
Beautiful, unique, wild, and rugged. The City of Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve is like no place else. Just minutes from the heart of downtown Scottsdale, the preserve is a sanctuary for the untamed, untouched Arizona. A place where hawks soar and deer roam, where saguaro cactus forests reach to the sky and boulder fields inspire wonder. Scottsdale residents came together in the 1990s to protect this special place. They approved a series of taxes to purchase the land, worked with developers and the state to identify special areas for preservation, and formed the nonprofit McDowell Sonoran Conservancy to assist in the protection of what is planned to eventually be a 34,000-acre sanctuary of unspoiled mountain and desert land, an environment that is unique to the American West and the world. This is a land of remarkably diverse geography, surprising geology, and inspiring natural beauty. It is a land rich in human history, from ancient Native American settlements to Old West mines and cattle ranches. The magic of Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve continues to attract. Whether you seek solitude, sunsets, or physical challenge, a seemingly endless collection of trails carry you into the heart of this special country. The adventures are waiting for you. There's more to explore in Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve. Great things are done when men and mountains meet, William Blake once wrote. That certainly holds true for Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve. Rising roughly 3,000 feet above the valley floor, the McDowell Mountains are both a prominent landmark and a visible testament to an untamed, authentic Arizona. Rugged, beautiful, and a place that's just good for the soul. Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve seeks to protect these scenic lands while providing visitors access to experience their unique beauty. Journey with us as we explore this diverse, special place. From the southern foothill regions to the central peaks, and finally, the boulder fields and sweeping vistas found on the northern slopes of the McDowell Mountains. Access into the preserve's mountain region is located at various points around the perimeter of the preserve. Along the southern boundary of the preserve are the Sunrise and Lost Dog Wash trailheads, accessible from Shea Boulevard. The Sunrise Trail meanders through a canyon and rises nearly 1,300 feet to the summit of Sunrise Peak. Reaching the peak provides an overview of the entire valley. Here, hikers can see a literal dividing line between urban development and preserved native desert, two vastly different worlds existing side by side. From here, options for exploring the preserve seem as plentiful as hillside cactus. You can descend to the west to the network of trails accessible from the Lost Dog Wash trailhead. The trailhead is located on 124th Street, north of Via Linda, and features restrooms, water, and plentiful parking for vehicles and horse trailers. Continue north along the Lost Dog Wash or Old Jeep trails, and your route will intersect with the Quartz Trail, named after a landmark mineral outcropping. From the Quartz Trail, you can continue heading north along the Paradise Trail into the central region of the McDowell Mountains. To the east, this scenic region includes the steep-walled canyons of Bell Pass Trail, nestled between two of the tallest mountains in the preserve, Thompson Peak and Drinkwater Peak, named after Herb Drinkwater, a former four-term mayor of Scottsdale. Head west and you'll arrive at the popular Gateway Trailhead. The award-winning Gateway, northeast of the intersection of Thompson Peak Parkway and Bell Road, is one of the major entry points into the preserve. It features more than 300 parking spots, restrooms, informational displays, an equestrian staging area, and the award-winning Bahada Nature Trail. This paved, all-access interpretive trail is a half-mile-long loop filled with informational signs for those who want to learn more about Arizona's unique Sonoran Desert. The McDowell Mountains beckon from the Gateway, and our journey moves north and east to some intriguing choices. One of the most popular hikes in the Gateway area is the Gateway Loop Trail. This trail circumnavigates a mountain peak and crosses the Gateway Saddle at an elevation of more than 2,300 feet above sea level. Another popular option is the Windgate Pass Trail. It takes you up and over its namesake pass and leads you to the shaded grassy environs of an old windmill site. From the Windgate Pass Trail, you can head north to the highest elevations of the McDowell Mountains by taking the steep, challenging climbs of either the Tom's Thumb or the East End trails. High on these trails, the environment begins to change, from cactus forests to grasslands and massive rounded formations of ancient granite. Keep hiking north, and you'll get to the base of the prominent granite outcropping known as Tom's Thumb, named after one of the first rock climbers to ascend the formation. Where Tom's Thumb and the East End trails meet, you'll be at the base of the highest point in the preserve, East End Peak, at an elevation of 4,059 feet. Head north roughly another quarter mile, and you'll be on another ridgeline with views to the north of Granite Mountain and a vast open expanse of desert along the horizon. That's the other half of Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve, home to a different geography, geology, and its own unique story. A steep descent to the Tom's Thumb Trailhead completes our trip through the McDowell Mountains and the preserve's rugged southern expanse. But there is definitely more to explore in Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve. The northern regions beckon, and other adventures await. More access, more trails, ancient upheaval. There's always more to explore in Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve. Something truly earth-shattering happened 500,000 years ago in Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve. The striking visual evidence remains, and the public has a chance to experience it like never before. The Tom's Thumb Trailhead and the Marcus Landslide Trail provide access to one of the most geologically violent events in Arizona history. An entire peak in the McDowell Mountains broke away that long ago day and roared down sheer slopes, breaking into hundreds of house and car-sized boulders and coming to rest on an angled open plain. The landslide displaced enough material to fill up 6 Sun Devil stadiums. Amazingly, evidence of this immense rockslide went unnoticed by scientists until 2002, when geology students on a field trip noticed an unusual pattern of spring flowers. Focusing on the flowers led to a deeper study of the boulder fields, and the slide's path was revealed. The Marcus landslide is a reminder of Arizona's tumultuous geologic past. The boulder field it created is also a remarkable hiking and visual experience. To access the area, head to the Tom's Thumb Trailhead, located 3 miles south of Dynamite on 128th Street. The trailhead, one of the newest additions to the preserve, features parking for 200 cars and 10 horse trailers, shade ramadas, and restrooms. Water is not available, so make sure you pack in plenty for your hike. The Marcus Landslide Trail is a relatively flat, 4-mile hike, but don't let the lack of elevation fool you. A hike through the Marcus Landslide debris field is a journey through a geologic wonderland of tilted rocks and immense boulders, sentinels that testify to the massive landslide that shaped this area. Another scenic hike departs the Tom's Thumb Trailhead, heading southwest. The Tom's Thumb Trail features a steep 800-foot vertical climb to a ridgeline below East End Peak, the highest point in the preserve. From there, visitors can hike to the base of the prominent granite spire known as Tom's Thumb, catch a view from the valley from the Lookout Trail, or head south via a steep descent along the East End Trail into the heart of the McDowell Mountains. The Tom's Thumb Trailhead is also an excellent starting point to explore nearby McDowell Mountain Regional Park, a 21,000-acre area managed by Maricopa County. Mountain bikers will enjoy the connections with the county's park's Pemberton Trail, a well-maintained, gently sloping 15-mile loop that provides great exercise and views of the McDowell Mountains. The Tom's Thumb Trailhead provides entry to a diverse, scenic region of Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve. Get out, get active, and remember, there is more to explore in Scottsdale's McDowell Sonoran Preserve.